everyone, I'm Sofi Morales and this is Sofi's Tips. For those of you who have never seen Sofi's Tips before, let me tell you what this channel is about. We talk about all kitchen appliances. We do unboxings, how-to videos, recipes, comparisons, everything that you need to make the most of those kitchen appliances that you have at home. Today, we're going to do a very easy, simple, and basic recipe that I recommend in the pressure cooker, a Salsa Roja or red salsa. This is a very versatile recipe. You can use it however you wish. You could do it on your taco bowl, you can add it to your tacos, do chilaquiles, add some chips and salsa while watching a game. You can use it as many different ways as you can think of. That's why I love this recipe. So let's get started. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This really helps us out so we can keep uploading new videos. The first thing that we're gonna do is add 1 cup or 250 milliliters of water to a pressure cooker. Today I'm gonna use the Oster pressure cooker, but you can use any pressure cooker that you have, either your Instant Pot or your Ninja Foodi, Ninja Speedy, any brand works, and you can just follow the steps using the time and pressure that I'm indicating. After we add the water, we're gonna add all of the ingredients. We're gonna add 2 pounds or 907 grams of tomato. I'm gonna use Roma tomato. That's the one I use for this recipe, but you can use any red tomato that you have. If you have at home a different version, that's fine. It's gonna work out just the same. And we're gonna need white onion. I'm gonna use half of it. That weighs approximately 150 grams. We're also gonna add some garlic. You need 5 grams or about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic that have to be cleaned, peeled, and added to the pot. We're gonna add some sprigs of cilantro, and this is where the interesting part comes. We're gonna add some chili. But this is very important. I'm gonna use chili jalapeno. It depends on the one that you're using, is the one or the quantity that you're gonna need. You might wanna start with 2 or 3 chiles in your pot, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna use all of them in your salsa, but you wanna have them cooked. And while we're preparing the salsa, we're gonna add little by little to taste. So if you want a really spicy salsa, you wanna add maybe all of them. But if you want some mild salsa, something that is very nice to the palate, nice taste, that is not that spicy, we might go for even half of the chili. And lastly, I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. After we have added all of the ingredients, we're gonna close the lid, close the sealing bulb, and we're gonna program it for 3 minutes at high pressure. You can use any program that allows you to put those 3 minutes on the clock. It could be a manual function. In this case, I'm gonna use the steam function for the Oster. Once we started the program, what the cooker does is preheat, meaning that it starts to build up the pressure that needs to cook. After that time passes, then it starts the program of 3 minutes. Once it's finished cooking, it starts to keep warm. So what we're gonna do is cancel the keep warm, and we're gonna open the valve to be able to open the cooker rapidly. Once we open the cooker, we're ready to prepare our salsa. Now, you have different options for this. You can use an immersion blender, you can use a regular blender, or in my case, I'm gonna use a food processor. What I like about the food processor is that it gives you that opportunity to kind of play a little bit with the texture. So if you want something that is a little bit more chunky, you can do pulse and just a slower speed to be able to get those chunks of salsa. But if you want a very smooth salsa, I recommend a blender. You have to add all of your ingredients to the food processor or the blender except for the chile. And you have 2 options here. If you want a very chunky salsa, a thicker salsa, I recommend leaving the liquid in the cooker. In my case, I like the salsa a little bit more smooth but with texture, so I add the liquid, meaning everything that is in the pressure cooker except for the chile will go into my food processor. Now that we've added the ingredients, I recommend you start blending or processing till you find the correct texture that you like. And I would start with, depending on how spicy you want it, maybe with half of the chile or 1 chile, and then go from there. Start tasting. If you want a little bit more spice, I would add a little bit more. And you would do this till you find the right spiciness for you. And finally, the last step that I do once I finish finding that correct texture and that correct spiciness, I go back to the salt. A lot of the times it needs a little bit more salt. So you add the salt at the beginning, but since the tomato is sweet, you get that sweetness in the tomato, especially once it's cooked. I go back and taste and then maybe add a little bit more salt. Here you have it, homemade salsa roja in pressure cooker. A very easy, fast, simple, and basic recipe that I recommend for you to do at home. In the end, I use 2 jalapeno peppers, and it is spicy, but it is not that spicy. I would consider it a medium. And you can use it in several different ways. In this case, I decided to present it with some chips, and I garnished it with some fresh cilantro just to give it that fresh taste. And it is delicious, delicious. So tell me in the comments, how did you prepare this salsa? How thick was it? What did you decide to do this for? So did you add it to tacos? Did you do some nachos and kind of season them on top? I love reading your comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this recipe. It really does help this channel so we can keep uploading new videos. If you're thinking about what dish to serve this with, I recommend the fajita veggies in the air fryer that I prepared. I'm gonna leave that video at the end of this video. See you next time. Ciao!